Joe's Baller here, and behind me I have a 2007 Chevrolet Silverado Classic with a 6-liter gas engine in it, and I'm going to take you through replacing the cam position sensor on this truck. Now, being that it's an 07 Classic, it is the same design as the 06. If you look up a cam position sensor location on an 07, it is in the front of the engine on the timing cover just above the crank pulley. On this truck, it is in the rear of the engine in the lifter valley behind the intake. Now, you can get to it without removing the intake. You can actually replace it without removing the intake if it'll come out. This one's a little bit stuck in. I've already pulled the intake so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to dive right in here, and I'm going to pull the sensor out. While I'm getting you guys set up, do me a favor, click the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, please click the notification bell. Don't forget to rate the video when it's all over, share it with your friends, and we're going to dive right in here and get into the cam position sensor. Now, I'll give you some symptoms on what it was doing. We would have a long crank and it would start. You might have to cycle the key a couple times, but it would eventually start. When you get a long crank and it wouldn't start, it would be popping and backfiring through the intake. Basically, it would sound like it's out of time. We checked fuel pressure. I checked the fuel pressure. Fuel pressure was right where it was supposed to be, so we knew we didn't have a fuel pump issue. We didn't have a fuel pressure issue. I have a reoccurring code for a cam position sensor circuit. So, hence we're replacing the cam position sensor. So, like I said, I've got the intake off. I'm going to get you guys set up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. You can see exactly where the sensor is. There's one 10mm bolt that holds it down and one plug-in. You can get to both of those with the intake on by reaching around the back of it. From the passenger side is the easiest. And I actually took the bolt out that way and unplugged it that way. I just could not get it to come out. So, I'm going to show you where it is on the truck. I'm going to show you, we're going to pop it out, we're going to drop a new one in, and then I'll put it all back together, but I'm probably not going to do that on camera. I just want to show you guys about the cam position sensor on this truck. So, here we go, guys. This right here is your cam position sensor. As you can see, I've rotated it already. I've unplugged it. This is the plug-in for it. There is a bolt, 10mm head, right through there that holds it down. Now, I've soaked this thing with penetrating oil. I'm going to get under here with a little pry bar. And I'm going to try and get into this other side with a little pry bar and walk it up and out. Right now, it's loose. It's just, there's an O-ring seal on it. And that O-ring is hung down in that bore. There it goes. Pop right out. Now, we'll lift that out of there and you can see how dirty and nasty and cruddy that is. So, I'm going to get down there and try and clean as much of that out as I can. You got to keep in mind, this is a snowplow truck. They run a salt spreader on it. That's where a lot of that rusty nastiness comes from, unfortunately. And there's no good way around it. You run these trucks, and when you run trucks like this, when the road conditions aren't the best, you end up with road salt and crap all kinds of places. So, like I said, we're going to stuff that rag down there, and hopefully we can clean some of that out. And, nope, I gotta go get my flashlight. Okay, now, there's a lot of crap down in that bore still, but there's no good way to clean it out without pushing it down into the engine, unfortunately. So I'm going to try, and I've already greased up. You can see all the dielectric grease on that O-ring. We're going to gently drop it in here, try and get her right down where she's supposed to go, and pop it in. Oh, ouch. And then this is not the most comfortable place to work. right back on top. I'm using this impact. You just want to bump it. You don't want to go too rough with it, or you'll have all kinds of issues. And we'll plug our sensor back in. And this is an AC Delco sensor, especially considering where it's located on this truck. I would not use anything else other than AC Delco. You'll have better luck with it. It'll last you longer. And sucker's a pain to get to, so I would not do anything else. Alright guys, so that is all there is to replacing the cam position sensor on this truck. If you have to remove the intake manifold to get to it like I did, it's going to get a little more complicated. I'm going to have to go through and clean up all the intake journals really well and get the manifold back on here. But holy cow. And now you see what you deal with if you've got to do this. So if you need to, don't be afraid to pull the intake. It's really not too difficult. But as you can see, that's it. We got the sensor in. Now it's time to get the intake back on, get this thing running, and double check everything. Just a quick and dirty video putting that cam position sensor back in. Like I said, you can do it with the intake on. This one, you saw the rust on the sensor. It was just stuck in, and there was no way for me to pop that sucker out without pulling the intake. I tried. But most vehicles, you're not going to see that much rust and crap back there. Like I said, this thing's had a salt spreader on it. It's been out in some of the worst conditions as far as keeping a vehicle from corroding. Do me a favor, don't forget to share the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up. Share this video with somebody it might help, or just your friends. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Don't forget, get out there and get your hands dirty. Oops, sorry, I'm blinding y'all. Don't forget, get out there and get your hands dirty. You might have a little fun doing it.